there she is, alive and well after the accident today. You look good.
I am. Yeah, hi. Well, hello to you too.
I'm just happy to see you. Literally, you're there. That's great.
Yes. No, I'm fine. I was in a car accident earlier this morning. I was T-boned in the middle of an intersection. Middle of an intersection in DC, one of the busiest intersections there is. And she ran the red light. She admitted fault. It was the whole thing. But she hit me pretty good. You saw the pictures.
Your poor car.
My poor car. Jose is my car's name. Protected me so well though. My little Hyundai Elantra. People be hating on Hyundais or whatever. I don't know.
Do they really hate on Hyundais? Really?
I don't know.
I don't know,
man. But I'm on my second Hyundai and my kid drives one, like, because I drive a Hyundai Elantra, hybrid. I love it.
Yeah.
And it protected me so well. And none of the airbags even had to deploy. She hit me so square on, I didn't spin around or anything, but I was shooken up pretty badly. Still am, to some extent, but
yeah.
And I'm starting to get stiff and sore, but I've got my muscle relaxer on board. So, I can't always be held responsible for what I say during this podcast. No, I'm just
we need a disclaimer. Katrina is on muscle relaxers and
no. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here and that it could have been worse and it wasn't. So
yeah, and it was, given the intersection that it was, it's right by monuments and museums and stuff, there's tourists everywhere, and that no other cars were involved, and that nobody else got hit and nobody got hurt, and she was okay. And it's I don't know. It could have been really, really bad. I'm just going to be stiff and sore for a little bit, whatever, we'll see,
Yeah.
But, I started getting a headache and stuff, but, yeah, I was the way it was and the way with the car coming and stuff, it was I turned and I did what you're not supposed to. What else are you going to do? You brace for impact, right?
Right.
And I had my head turned because she hit me this way, right? So I was turned this way when she hit me, and I was braced like this. So generally, all of that is good. That's what's going to get sore, all those muscles and stuff. So,
all right, I need to give you acupuncture ASAP.
Yeah, I was going to say, I am going to be, now that you're set up in your new clinic, I need to get on your schedule to get out there.
Yes.
And get on your schedule at least once a week. Probably.
Absolutely. I would love to see you.
Yeah, I definitely need you. You're what I would need primarily. So in any case, all that said and done, yeah, yay, fun. I'm so hot and I'm stinky and I keep smelling. I'm like, what is that? Oh shit, that's me. Just sitting outside in the DC hot sun today, waiting for the tow truck to come and all the stuff. It was just I'm just so gross and
And here she is, folks, ready to record. She's such a hard worker. You sure you're good tonight? No, yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I didn't need medics. I didn't, none of that. Didn't get, knock my head or anything. There was no glass broken. Surprisingly, she was in an SUV, and so where it hit on my, it was given everything, I'm really surprised it wasn't bigger. So
yeah, that's good.
All things considered, it's property damage, my insurance company, I'm with USAA, and those of you guys who have USAA know what I'm talking about as far as their insurance. So, my car was towed and I'm in the rental already, and which is apparently it's a brand new car. Isn't
that awesome? They give you new cars.
Looking at the mileage, he's 25 miles, brand new car for you. I'm okay.
Yeah.
He's is this car okay for you? I'm yeah, it's fine. It's SUV, cross sport utility crossover thing. And nice. It was and I didn't my phone charger that I had taken out of my other car, I couldn't even plug in this car because the only plug was a USB-C, and the one that I had for
The
my
hell is a
other car
USB-C?
is a regular USB. So
Oh,
yeah, everything's going to the USB-C. But
first world problems.
I know, right? Like,
Love it.
such first world problems. Like, oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I will be scheduling some time at your clinic now that you're there. Now that Dr. Lexi has gotten in your practice and all that, like
Yes.
gotten all that set up and everything.
Now I'm back to working 3 jobs again. So exciting.
But like this is like your jobby job, like
Right.
right. Like
Yes.
this is what you've been studying for.
Right. Correct.
So this is what you have a doctorate in. Yes. Practicing Oriental medicine out in Maryland, and I'm very excited to come see you. And yeah, but let's talk about now. Okay, below deck sailing yacht. Okay.
Yeah.
Below. Oh. I totally forgot the story I was going to tell you. We think my neighbors are gypsies.
Uh-huh.
I told you this, right?
You mentioned something, I think, in a text.
So long story, I got these brand new neighbors. They're renters. These new people moved in. I only met him briefly. He asked me some questions. I just don't see him that often. I know he's got young kids. I hear the kids all the time. We share a wall. Like my bedroom wall is up against what is the kids' bedroom, the way the layouts are. And I mean, I will often be up till all hours of the night because I don't sleep very well and all this. And I'm generally nocturnal, but I hear them next door. And it sounds like it's like a WWE match off of bunk beds with like a Dora the Explorer soundtrack in the background. Like there's all kinds of like shenanigans going on, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting, and it's not like loud enough to be annoying, like where like I can't sleep or anything like that. It's just more of like this muffled sound, like you hear it and you know it's there, but it's not like loud, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like anything annoying, and plus it's like I'm like, okay, that's really odd. I know both of his kids are under 10 years old. They're up till all hours of the morning. And by all hours, I mean like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'll hear
Wow.
Yeah, I'll hear them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hetero life mate will hear them when he gets up to go to work. And he leaves for work at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. He hears them. He'll sometimes see dad out there, like really weird hours. But like my first instinct was like, okay, well, I don't want to assume any privilege, whatever. Like, I don't know what his work situation is. Childcare situation, maybe he doesn't have the right kind of childcare. I don't know, maybe he has to work and doesn't have somebody to watch the kids. I don't want to like assume anything, right? So about why they're up at all hours of the night or this and that, I'm like, it is what it is, right? They're not creating a problem. They're really not intrusive neighbors. Like it's fine, and so that was going on, right? And then we had a situation at our neighborhood pool where this is our HOA drama, right? We had a situation at the pool where it was on 4th of July so we have a patio, a pool patio that you can reserve. You can like rent it out. Like there's no cost to it. It's just like you
sign up for it. Yeah.
Sign up for it. And I process those in one of my capacities on the HOA board and stuff. And I guess on 4th of July, our HOA president was at the pool just with her family enjoying the holiday, and was approached by this guy saying, "Hey, can we use the patio, whatever?" And so the HOA president called me and was like, "Hey, is there anybody on the schedule?" And I was like, "No, it's clear." So we were like, "Okay, we'll let him have it. Usually you have to do it in advance, but there's nobody there. It's a holiday. Why not? Right? Whatever." She told him the rules: no more than this amount of people. This is a family pool. These are the rules. No jumping. No all of the things. Right? They apparently were so like crazy rambunctious, like They were vaping all over the place, and then they were smoking all over the place, which there's no smoking anywhere near the pool house, much less on the patio, like on the pool patio, right? And then like the lifeguards kept trying to tell them to like, keep it under control and just stop vaping and do this, and they weren't listening to them, and they were just, nobody was watching the kids. They had way more than the number of people that they were supposed to have, and they were just running so raucous that like they literally kicked everybody else out of the pool. Like everybody else left the pool.
Oh, wow.
All the other families left the pool. And they were trying to do jumps and dives, and they were trying to climb up like the lifeguard stands to do jumps off those. Like it was like out of control. And then like the kids were out front digging in the dirt and doing all these things. And they kicked them out. So we had this whole thing about, so their privileges were revoked. And we were discussing it at the HOA board meeting last night. Anyway, I was talking to the HOA president about it, and she's like, I think that they're gypsies. And she's like, and I don't mean that in like a derogatory way, but I mean that as like, I think they're legitimately like traveling gypsies, Roman shell gypsies. She's like, I mean, I just
like from the show.
I don't know what she had based on, but she's, maybe based on the show, maybe based on her personal experience. I don't know. We didn't really get into it. I was a really long HOA meeting. So afterwards we were like, no, but she's like, I think they're gypsies. And, these are my neighbors. Like I said, I share a wall with them. And I was like, interesting because, the way that they're described at the pool and stuff, I 100% believe this because obviously we have witnesses and all these people saw this behavior. I'm like, but they're really unobtrusive neighbors. Like I have no problems with it. I have like more problems with the other neighbors than I do with them. Like my neighbor a few doors down that has AstroTurf in her front yard. Like that like hit my car because she was throwing rocks at squirrels or something. Like
I remember that story.
Yeah, like that's who I have. Like that's an issue, right? And that's like not even an issue, right? She's just like, okay, she's a little older lady, whatever. I have no issues with these guys. I've only had minimal contact with them, and the behavior in the neighborhood doesn't match the neighborhood, at the pool or whatever their behavior at the pool. And so, but now that I suspect they're gypsies, a lot of other things make sense. Like they have Maryland license plates on their car and Maryland like stickers on their car. They have Virginia now. They changed them. But there are definitely traveler communities in Maryland, like Frederick, out by Frederick. I've talked to you about this before. Like we need to take a field trip out and go visit them. I mean, there's just little signs now, so now I'm on a mission. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stalk these people, like, but not in a bad way, like not stalk them in a bad way, but like I want to find out, like I want to make friends with these people. Like, I mean,
you should.
I like being friends with my neighbors anyway, hence my involvement on the HOA and all that other stuff. But, now that if they're travelers, like I even more want to be friends with them.
You should ask them why the kids are up all night. You should get to that level of relationship. Do you see the kids during the day too? Or
I've never seen them. I've never seen them.
So they're like nocturnal.
I mean, I am pretty much housebound. Like, I might as well be a shut-in sometimes because there's just sometimes with the heat being what it is. Sometimes I work from home. Like, I don't really need to be anywhere. Sometimes, I'll go to the gym in the morning or whatever, at lunch, I'll go to the gym. And, it's funny because it's like in the morning, I won't see his car. And then I will see his car back. Or like I won't see it late at night, but then I will see it in the morning, but then it's gone again like 2 hours later. And I'm like
busy.
Like, yeah, like you're never home. Like and like hetero life mate saw him at like 3 a.m. standing outside, just like probably outside smoking anything, But
well, that's better than my neighbor that lives above me that I'm convinced is a serial killer. So that's cool.
Right.
At least you have nice neighbors. I'm like terrified of my neighbor.
Yeah. Clearly he hasn't serial killed you yet. So
no, I think he's scared. Somebody was it you who told me he's not going to because it's too close to home?
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer didn't kill his neighbors. He lured people back.
Yeah.
It would be too much.
Is that why like my neighbors aren't causing a ruckus or anything like Like if you've watched My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding, you know the kind of ruckuses they cause at like
I've seen bits and
parties.
pieces of that, and it is a absolute shit show.
It's like these crazy mess parties, right?
I want to believe that it's scripted, but I believe it's probably
No.
not. That's real life.
No. I think it's 100% like that nuts. And that's why you and I have to take this field trip and go.
Does
find
anybody else
out.
listening want to go to Frederick? It's like an hour and a half for me. Like, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And then yeah, so maybe like they go out and they do it at other places, but not like right at home because they don't want to get kicked out or whatever.
Yeah.
But what's funny is I actually have gypsy blood in me. I have I come from that line. I come from a line of gypsies on my Romania side.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Gypsies.
I say Romania in quotes because not really a country anymore. Anyway, all of that, but we digress. So I may have like true life American gypsies next to me, and I'm very excited to find out more. And I have like another Ring camera. I'm like contemplating setting up outside, like in my tree.
Oh my God.
To like look down the block, like because I'm at the end unit. If I put it in my tree, I could like look down the whole end block.
You could catch some good stuff. I'm sure there's some.
I could. I have a neighbor of a friend who's over by like the pool house. She's like across from the pool and stuff, and she's on a corner unit and a corner end unit thing, and she has Ring cameras up all over her trees. So she catches stuff in like the pool parking lot. She catches all kinds of things happening.
She's the snitch.
Well, yeah, she put them up for protection for her own family. She was having issues.
Okay,
her daughter was in an abusive relationship, and it was
so she's protecting herself.
Yeah, so there were for protective purposes, and to give to the cops if you need. But she's been called on. Her footage has been called on by the cops in the great trash can fire debacle. Was it fireworks or was it not debacle of 2023? Also here at Lansdowne HOA. That was a whole mess, but because she had the video, she had the Ring cameras, they could see that this other car had approached, and it was probably that car that set the fire and not our fireworks. It was an intervening event, as we would say in the legal world. Anyway. Below Deck Sailing Yacht Reunion Parts 1 and 2. Right back after this message.
Oh my God, you guys. I want to tell you about this underwear that I'm obsessed with. It is the Fits Everybody collection by Skims. And it feels like no other underwear I've ever worn before. It's stretchy and soft, and it kind of just melts onto your body and you forget you're wearing it. Skims is creating the next generation of underwear for everybody. And I do mean everybody. My girls are a 34 double D. I've breastfed. I've had a reduction. I've gained weight. I've lost weight. I've been through it all. And this is my new favorite bra that I wear all the time. It is the Fits Everybody t-shirt bra. And I'm telling you, it's a miracle. A t-shirt bra I can actually wear. I love it. It's my favorite. I'm also a super fan of the Fits Everybody Racerback bra. It's my new go-to bra when working from home. The Fits Everybody collection of underwear is super lightweight and molds to your body. It's a buttery soft fabric that stretches twice its size without ever losing its shape, meaning that you get the perfect fit every time. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You will get the perfect fit every time with these. And they're available in sizes double extra small up to a 4X. You guys, believe the hype. The collection has nearly 90,000 five-star reviews for a reason. The Fits Everybody collection and more perfect fit essentials are available now at skims.com. Plus, you get free shipping on orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select the Fraudcast from the drop-down menu that follows.
Hey, you guys. You know that I love my Nutrafol. I've been taking it for a long time, and I'm going to continue to take it for a long time because I, like millions of Americans, experience thinning hair. It's more than common. It's normal, but it's not openly talked about, especially among women. Going through it can be lonely and frustrating, and it's time to change that conversation and join the thousands of women like me who are standing up for their strands with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting the 5 root causes of thinning: stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, and metabolism through a whole body health. Nutrafol has 3 unique formulas to support women throughout all stages of life, including postpartum and menopause. Each formula is physician formulated using natural, drug-free, medical-grade ingredients in consistently effective dosages so you get the most reliable results. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months. Over 3,000 top doctors and stylists recommend Nutrafol as an effective and high-quality solution for healthier hair. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code FRAUD to save $10 off your first month subscription. This offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, you get free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, with the promo code FRAUD.
Hey, Fraudcasters. Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should your payday? The money you earn today can be in your hands today with EarnIn. EarnIn is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the EarnIn app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work. Any money that you access is automatically repaid from your next paycheck. Make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join EarnIn's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about EarnIn, I think about financial stability and security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. I tell you what, you guys, just knowing that this app exists out there gives me a lot of peace of mind and security. Download EarnIn today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the EarnIn app, type in Fraudcast under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. That's Fraudcast under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max, pay period max. See earnin.com TOS for details. EarnIn is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
And we're back.
Hey guys, Hetero Life Mate here. We're coming up into the busy months: weddings, college graduations, your stepmom placing 3rd in a dog grooming competition. We've all got reasons to celebrate this summer and a lot of reasons to gift. So why not give them something they'll love? Give them drinks and get them all from Drizzly, the go-to app for alcohol delivery. With Drizzly, you can shop from a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits and get them all delivered from stores near you. Looking to save some dough? Compare prices and find the best deals on the best drinks so you can spend all that extra money on something that you really, really, really need. Like that ginormous pink inflatable flamingo. Who doesn't need that? Then get all those drinkable gifts delivered to wherever the summer shindig is digging. You'll probably be getting a sappy thank you card in no time, and ordering is easy. Just download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's drizzly.com, DRIZLY.com today. DRIZLY.com. Ding dong, it's Drizzly. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Part 1 was super boring, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, okay. There were some good things that came out of that, of the part 1 of the reunion. And that was the big zinger. You know how what Captain Glenn does his rose and his thorn or whatever he does season, like the good thing and the bad thing or whatever. The good thing that came out of that episode was finding out that Chase and Alicia actually tried to like make a go of dating.
Yes, that was a
my God, that was the surprise of the century to me. That they actually went there.
I thought it was going to be Mads and Chase based on the fact that I've seen all their social medias. They're constantly together. Mm-hmm. So that really threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, didn't see that one coming at all.
Right. So that was really exciting. And so, okay. And so we have everybody here present. We don't have anybody pussied out like we've had in past reunions. Nobody pussied out. Everybody showed up. Captain Glenn is on the Parsifal. Hopefully he's part of his filming for season 4. Everybody else we couldn't tell. Nobody, I mean, I don't know.
They were saying that Daisy and Gary were both in Spain and that they're filming a new season right now, but I don't know if that's true or not. That's the rumor.
That's the rumor. Yeah, because Daisy was in Spain. She did say that, her location was in Spain. I think Gary said the same thing. They just weren't on board the ship the way Glenn was, but being in Spain, yeah. So, and we do know that there are some familiar faces coming back. If it is Gary and Daisy coming back after this reunion, that's going to be interesting. But I guarantee you, they've already fucked a whole bunch of times.
Oh, I'm sure. I'll be honest. I really just want Daisy to go. Like, I don't want another season with her.
I don't need another season of her, especially Gary. Her Gary.
It's going to be the same shit, different season.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's get the other ones out of the way since they barely gave like Lucy any FaceTime at all. Like, or Lucy, Mads, and Chase, and Alicia. So we know Alicia's update was she and her boyfriend have broken up when she came back, and then she and Chase were kind of hanging out.
Traveling in each other's countries.
Yeah, kind of seeing each other, but they live, on opposite sides of the world and, blah, 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 blah. But it sounds like they totally boned. So
I'm sure. They're not traveling continents just to...
I love that so much for them that because like all season they were doing that flirty, and you're like, oh, it'd be really nice.
Yes.
And then it actually happened. I mean, it didn't work out, like whatever, but it's fun.
But they tried. And we forgot to announce there was another guest, and that was Chase's dog, Charlie, who he wore on his backpack. And I was like, this dog is so cute.
That's cute. You should see the post that I just posted. He's like holding him like a baby.
Oh, he's going to be such a good dad.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, and he's such a baby. He's such a baby face. Like, he's such a young kid, but like, he's like, I don't know. He's like wise beyond his years, but at the same time, completely not at all. Mature. Let me do a shot of tequila through your boobs. How funny was Lucy's imitation of Chase?
It was awful, actually. It was
I thought it was hilarious. Oh, come on now. It was the least we could get from, let's get some FaceTime from Lucy.
I know. She said like 5 sentences in both reunions. I was like, poor thing.
I know. Her faces were good the whole time. The whole second episode when they're focusing on all the reasons why Daisy's a terrible human being. And Gary's not far behind her. All the, when we get all that, her faces, Lucy's faces were classic, but we don't get much from her. We just have, okay, here's Lucy. Hi, she was on the boat. Remember her? She worked there. Mads. So they talked to Mads about her relationship with Gary, and she's like, what's to say? Like, I was clear from the outset, like.
And of course, Gary did not watch the season back, so he can't even participate. Yes. He got up and peed in the middle of the reunion. He was eating shit.
Mads was talking about him.
Right. So when you say that they were all present in the reunion, physically they may have been present, but Gary was like halfway out the door, like the whole time, not paying attention.
So Gary said he doesn't watch the seasons back. He hasn't watched any of them. He's like seen bits and pieces here and there, but he doesn't watch them back. And everybody's like, and including Andy was like, you really should, because that would be like beneficial for you. You don't think, and then every time like the rest of the reunion, it was mentioned, because I watched it back and I learned,
Yeah.
But so we see, so we have Mads talking about her relationship with Gary. Yeah, Gary offers nothing at all meaningful to this because he didn't watch anything, and he's like, "Why would I do it?" And you saw what you saw. That's what it is, and whatever. And the only thing he apologized for was confronting Mads about, "Are you on your period? Shouldn't you have told me?"
Yeah,
for that. He apologizes profusely for that, but absolutely refuses to take any kind of responsibility for anything else. That's it. Much like somebody else, Daisy.
Yeah.
But we find out, so you know, you got Gary being a hurt little puppy dog, right? And Mads is like, what? Like, I don't regret anything about it. I just, like, it was what it was. Like, it was fun. I had a good time. Like, I was perfectly in control. Like, call me whatever you want to call me. Like, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I hooked up with you because I enjoyed it. Like,
Same
why are you trying to call me out?
Right. Like every episode, we hear her saying the same thing. It's just going around in circles. That's what I feel like this whole season was, just going around in circles. Same shit, different episode.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I did not like, everyone loved this season. I didn't really like it. I just
liked it, but I wish we would have seen less of the Daisy, Colin, Gary nonsense and more of the Alex, Chase, Mads stuff. Because clearly their entertaining is all hell. And and they're all functional. The rest of them are dysfunctional, while these three are, you know, and then Alicia and stuff, you know, they're all functional completely.
Right.
So I'd rather see them engaging in whatever kinds of shenanigans they're engaging in.
Yeah. Well, we also see like Daisy being interviewed, and they bring up the whole issue that she had with Captain Glenn and that Colin, when they had the tip meeting, when Captain Glenn was giving her feedback. And Daisy says, I don't do well with negative feedback. And Andy made the comment, well, don't you give your stewardesses feedback? Like, how do you think they feel or whatever?
Yeah.
And she went on to be like, well, I think that, you know, he needs to lead with positive feedback first. And she's going on and on and on. And I'm like, maybe I sound like an old person, but like she sounds like a youngin' that just can't accept the fact that there's criticism and to own it. She's blaming. She's like, whatever, crying.
100%.
And then Andy
just
said,
say you turned your damn radio off because you didn't want to hear the chatter.
Well, and Andy said, hey, when you watched it back and you saw Colin's comment, now after watching it back, did your opinion of what he said change? And she was like, well, no, because it wasn't the right time. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't with her. I can't.
There's so much to break down with her. But yeah, that first episode, her absolute refusal to take any kind of responsibility for her criticism, like being criticized, like, and in a constructive way. And they're like, you can't give her any kind of criticism unless you lead with a compliment. Like, no, you just need to get your head out of your asshole and admit that you could do better, you know?
Yeah.
And like Glenn said, it's like, she's a really hard worker and she's really good at, you know, her job and stuff. It wasn't about working harder. It was about working smarter. And it was, okay, let's figure this stuff out. And Glenn had he had the wherewithal to be like, look, it looks like it was a miscommunication about like sending Mads in the tender or whatever, you know, the time it caused all that problems or whatever. And it was like, he's like, looking back, watching it back, I see that there was clearly a miscommunication about what I thought was happening. And that goes back to everything that I say, which is there's always, you don't know what you don't know on the boat, right? They always think they know everything about a situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
well, also like 15 minutes is too long to have a guest be injured and nobody do anything about it.
That was problematic.
I don't care what you're doing. The fact that you are not in radio communication for 15 minutes, not docking doesn't matter.
Nobody on your team was able to pick it up and be like, oh, a guest is injured. Like that was unacceptable. And she needs to just be like, yeah, you're right. That was unacceptable. And and it was my bad. Sorry.
Yep. Yep. It was cool. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, it's all good. I'm like following my notes, but not really. There was like not a lot of notes to take on this, but I thought it was interesting that they had celebrities reach out to them. I don't like Chrissy Teigen. I think she's obnoxious, but I like Christina Applegate. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love me some Christina Applegate. She has MS also.
She does.
Yeah.
She's just a badass. I like her.
Yes, she is badass in so many ways. Which I think, they reach out. Well, Chrissy Teigen was a 90-Day Fiance whore for a long time too, so that doesn't surprise me. I don't follow any of that, you know, so I don't anymore. So I don't know, but that is pretty cool. And I mean, of course, they didn't say contacted by, you know, amazing podcasters Kat and Lex, but you know. So So the first episode was mostly just that, and our preview of Daisy getting worse and worse, right? And then we see Gary obviously being Gary, but like being Gary to sort of an extreme level. Like,
yeah, well, then it was interesting too. We talk about them watching the season back and how Daisy goes on this long spiel about and telling Gary, you need to watch it back so you can grow as a person, basically, like blah, blah, blah. And she's like lecturing him about growing as a person by watching it back. I'm like, bitch, you watched it back and you're in denial and blaming everybody else. And then gaslighting Colin later. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Given what we find out later on about all the nonsense of Colin and stuff.
I can't with her.
Oh my God. Yeah. So it was like, and then like, Gary was like being extra. Gary was like Gary without the charm of Gary. You know what I mean? It was just like all Gary and no charm.
Gary was acting like my toddler.
Yeah.
I say that every episode. Throwing a fit, throwing chips, eating chips, taking a pee, body break. Captain Glenn, I go potty. Captain Glenn, I go potty.
Body break.
I pull my diaper down. I go potty.
Come back with her like dress over her head and her poopy diaper in her hand.
Yeah. God.
For you.
I liked seeing the flashback of Colin fixing the boat. It was kind of a turn on. I know you can't watch porn in Virginia right now, but you could watch Colin fixing a boat.
That's the closest thing I got right now.
Bow chicka wow wow. There's Colin in the engine room with his little headphones on.
I need to order a cameo from him and ask him to do it like shirtless or something. So I'll just like, okay, this is my spank material.
Can you rub yourself down with lotion, please? On the sun.
Can you temporarily be a cam guy for me?
Can you swing around the pole that's holding the sail? Thank you.
Climb to the top of the mast, please. I'll look from behind. Underneath. Oh, look at that.
Right.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
I hope he's not going to listen to this, but if he does, hey, just some thoughts. Just some thoughts out there.
Sorry for objectifying you.
Yeah, we love you, Colin. You're a badass man.
Even after everything we learned about you, I don't think you did anything wrong.
I don't either. I think if Daisy's ego and feelings were hurt, kind of like Gary. Oh, we will get to that later, right? But yeah, let's see. Yes. So yes, Colin sex.
Colin sucks what?
I said sex. I meant to say Colin fixing the boat. Ooh.
Oh my God. Colin doesn't suck at anything.
No, yeah. We see a reel of like Alicia and all of her amazing food that went out this season. Yeah, how she was like the most level-headed chef that they've ever had.
Oh, right.
I don't think I've ever. Did you see her get angry? I can't remember.
No,
not once.
And I've commented on it throughout the season. Is like we don't have the kitchen theatrics from her that we get from so many other below deck chefs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the guests want vegan or whatever, she's like, okay, cool, whereas like Ben's like that. And he starts like throwing shit across
vegan,
the kitchen.
What kind of shit is that?
Throws spaghetti across the kitchen and whatever gastro and whatever molecular something.
Yeah. Yes. Then we see the exterior like talking about Chase and Alex's work ethics, and Gary, who has no like way of speaking to his crew and any kind of professionalism at all. There's just no professionalism.
Horrible manager.
He basically says Chase is a really hard worker. He's one of the hardest workers he's seen, and Alex was just kind of there. And then he just like kept putting Alex down. So of course Alex defended himself and was like, hey, I needed direction. Like you told me everything was good, which I believe. I do believe Alex in that sense.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, he's like, you just said, hey, everything's good. And he did a great Gary impression. Okay. That was spot on.
Yeah.
But hey, we have some boat beers and everything's good. The great charter. Gary's just such a shit stirrer. He stirs
is,
the
and
pot.
he's so immature.
Mhm.
And he has just complete inability to see himself in any kind of self-reflective way. And as the season went on, I was seeing more and more of that from Daisy, right? Like you didn't like her sooner than I jumped on board with it, right?
Yeah.
And then as this reunion went on, I just like by the end of it, I was like, can I hate her anymore? Like, is it possible? And then she opened her mouth again. I was like, yep, I sure can hate her more.
I wanted her to redeem herself in the reunion. I wanted her to just man up, or woman, whatever you want to say, own up to her, all the things she said, and just be like, yep, I made a mistake. Yep, I shouldn't. Yep, I flirted with Gary.
Really hoping to hear some of that, because I feel like we've gotten some of that from her before. Like, okay, yeah, like I feel like maybe she's capable of it at times. So I was looking forward to, like you said, I was hoping that we'd get that, but instead it went whatever the opposite of redemption is. That's what happened to her.
Yeah.
That's what she did. She like made it even worse. And we come to find out that she and Colin have been dicking around, doodling each other's diddlers for years.
Each other's diddlers.
Diddling each other's doodler. I don't know.
This is what happens when you don't have porn in Virginia.
I know, right?
She forgets the terminology. Doodling each other's diddlers. Doodle diddle. Doodle diddle.
I'm reading old timey smut or something,
Hey, doodle my diddle.
By golly, yes, he did. He done diddled my diddle.
God.
Anyway, apparently Colin's been saucing her taco for a while.
Yeah.
And then so has Gary, because we know their timeline at least somewhat, right? Like we know they hooked up in between these two seasons, and now we learn that Daisy and Colin also hooked up in between the two seasons.
Yeah, they hooked up right before filming. They said.
Yeah, and she had also hooked up with Gary in between.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, and
which I'm sorry, that's kind of fucked up because they are good friends.
Right.
That's the only, like, you do you, girl, like whatever. Yeah. But like, I think your choice in hooking up with two guys that are very close is just stupid.
Whom she's had these very close sexual tension filled relationships. She's had them with each of them for years.
Yeah.
Because, Colin talks about it, he's like, yeah, we've, there's been this thing sort of for years and we've been hooking up and and of course, then there's this whole side story about, was Colin cheating on Daisy? What was happening with Colin? Because he was sleeping with the girl that was working with him on his boat, and was, and from what I gathered on that, it was Daisy was just mad because she said she was made to feel guilty about Gary, which, by the way, someone can't make you feel guilty. That is that's an internal thing, right?
Well, not only that, like poor Colin's watching back the season and seeing everything and knowing in your gut when something's going on. So of course he's going to call it like he sees it. And she feels guilty because she, at some level, maybe she realizes, hey, I acted inappropriate towards Gary.
Because he was saying this is the first he's seen of it, of how inappropriate Gary and Daisy were as far as their kissing and this and that throughout the boat, right? Right? That's what I understood. Okay.
I did look up Colin's girlfriend on his Instagram because I had seen him post like with her and tag her, but I didn't know that was his girlfriend until now, obviously. Right. Mm-hmm. She looks like so like hipster and chill and like good vibes. Like I get good vibes from seeing her stuff. I don't know. It's just different.
Well, she clearly is like chill, whatever, because she knew that Colin was having, entertaining this thing with Daisy, but also sleeping with her, because whatever they had was just casual, whatever, which is what Colin was trying to say. It was about, and how that situation was different than her situation with Gary because of this friendship. That's what was different. Like that friendship is what makes it unique. No one's calling you a slut.
Right.
Daisy. I mean, maybe people online
trolls. Yeah. They call everybody everything.
but no one on the stage is.
But Daisy was trying to make Colin feel bad about saying, no, you told me that it was just casual with this girl Brittany and that it didn't mean anything, and then now all of a sudden you're with her and that hurt my feelings. Well, I'm sorry, but that has nothing to do with you. Like, relationships grow, they change. And he was probably, this is me speaking, he was probably holding on to the fact that he wanted something to work out with Daisy, and when it didn't go there, he entertained the other relationship, and that grew. Like, do not, you don't know what people are going to do. You don't know how people are going to change and grow in such situations.
You have the right to get hurt to be hurt over
of course.
It. That is not their responsibility to act in a way that's not going to like inadvertently hurt you. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, it doesn't put an onus on them about their behavior. It wasn't like they didn't do anything wrong by deciding to pursue an actual relationship because Daisy's hurt.
Everyone was thinking like the biggest shock of this reunion. Well, one of them was that we find out that, of course, that Colin and Daisy were having sex before they even filmed. But to me, my biggest revelation in this reunion was that when Gary said that the longest relationship he had was 3.5 years. I was like, oh my God, my heart.
He was faithful, though. He never said it was a faithful relationship.
I guess that's true. And I was like, like, no way has Gary had a 3.5-year relationship.
Yeah.
That was shocking to me. I literally typed out, that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So let's talk more about Daisy just digging herself into a hole.
Yes, I have 2 pages of notes on this. It's all over the place.
Before we jump into Mads accidentally outing the fact that she's boning Alex, and Alex is supposed to be in a relationship.
I think she was boning him right before he became in a committed relationship, and that's why she didn't want to say anything, because new girlfriend probably doesn't want to hear that. That was my take on it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't even want to give Mads any more attention. It's just the same shit. Like, okay, you fucked Gary. Cool. All right. Like, and okay, Alex just sat around and didn't do anything till the end. Okay. Like, I don't know. I'm like, what? There's not even anything to talk about. Like,
no, but it was funny. But funny. Back to Daisy.
Yeah. So this is when Gary decides to just eat chips very loudly, maybe piss off production and audio. I don't know.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, okay, you're acting like a child. Obviously, you don't want to go there, so you're just going to distract and come up with ways of not getting into your feelings and in touch with your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that Colin said him and Daisy, after the filming, decided to really try to work on a relationship, and they went on these trips. They did all these things. And then, of course, that's when we find out, okay, well, he was, quote, seeing that other girl for a little while after or before the show. And I don't know. The timeline was a little iffy because they were going back and forth as far as like.
And Daisy's timeline, like, I couldn't necessarily trust hers.
Yeah.
But then like Mads and Lucy or whatever all jumped in and they were like, but like everybody was being shady. Like all of them involved were all being shady with each other. Like nobody's innocent here.
I guess what it sounded like was Colin was exploring his options, dating Daisy and this other girl. No, there was no commitment between anybody at this point. Right. And when Daisy found out he had been sleeping with this girl, she put her walls up, decided to push him away, back up. And that made their relationship, more tense. And then the fighting happened. And then he wanted to pursue a relationship with Daisy. He wanted to go in that direction, I think. But, the fighting and everything. Plus, I don't know how these people date, to be honest. And like they're on boats. They're doing all these things like long distance. I can see how that would be really, really hard for anybody. Let alone, living across the world from each other and traveling. It's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how they date, but yeah, like flying them across the world. Flying them across the world and whatever. Like we're at the boat shows and seeing each other. Like when I don't know, they film Watch What Happens Live or what, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. Like,
well, what I find interesting too is that Colin told Gary that him and Daisy hooked up before the show even aired or before they started filming. And Gary was happy about it.
Allegedly.
Yet Gary goes on the show, and maybe that's why he went so hard for Daisy at the beginning, because he knew that Colin and her had already hooked up, and he was like, game on, like going right in for it. I don't know.
Knowing that there was this a lot more back history, it's like watching it is like, oh, this was all a farce.
Yeah.
Like the show that we got, like the storylines we got, like that was kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not blaming the producers.
No,
it's not them. It's fucking Daisy and whatever. Daisy and Daisy and Gary. Although Colin, to a lesser extent, I mean, he's responsible for this because he was involved. And
my question is, why does Daisy think that this, or how did she think it was just going to remain hidden? How do you know what I mean? Like, you were just going to hush, things would not come out, because things will always come out,
Yeah. I don't know.
Why not just
clearly
be
we had Gary announcing they had sex when they were on the boat, and then you're on the reunion, and Colin's like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, we've been hooking up since, but between from the last season."
So this whole time, Gary knew, or Colin and Gary had that conversation about Daisy and Colin hooking up, and Gary did not tell Colin that him and Daisy hooked up. Which, and like again, in a normal situation where if they weren't friends, obviously it wouldn't be something you bring up. But to me, if they're so close, like, wouldn't that be something that you would bring up to your guy friend? I don't know. Maybe not. I know if it was my girlfriend and I hooked up with somebody, I would tell her, "Hey, I hooked up with your." But
it shows you how nefarious all their intentions are, right?
Yeah.
Like Gary, we know he's got bad intentions. He just wants to get laid and get his ego stroked, right?
Yes.
Daisy, we came to learn, is also, she's got this, whatever her fucked up situation is, about way she's playing on the emotions of all of these men and playing both of them.
No, she's not, Katrina. Don't you know? She's the victim.
Is she? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sorry. They were just playing with her.
She's the victim.
Right.
Oh yeah. No,
right.
She didn't do anything.
No,
yeah.
She's
apparently
totally the victim. She honestly wanted something serious and real with Colin, and then she got hurt, and then Gary's penis slipped and fell into her vagina, and then I don't know, like
her diddly doody da.
Gary diddled her doodle. Gary doodle do. Gary doodle dandy. Gary doodle dandy. That Irish lass.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the way that they all left it was like Gary and Colin were kind of buds again, as men do. They get over this stuff,
right? They move forward.
They probably jointly realized what a twat Daisy was, but now then you have Colin and Daisy clearly not really talking to each other, because they were like arguing. And
so Daisy was yelling at him, saying that he was in a serious relationship in season 2, and he got drunk and told her if he was single, he would hook up with her. Was that an appropriate thing to say? No. But was it like the worst thing you could like? No. He said literally, if I was single, I would want to hook up with you. Now, if my boyfriend said that drunk, I'd be really pissed off. But
yeah, I mean, it's reflective of a problematic underlying issue, but
right. But it's not like, hey, I want to fuck you right now, or hey, like, it's like if I were single. So yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's not
flirty. It's flirty.
It's flirty. It's not. It's like teetering on the line of like inappropriate and whatever.
Right.
Maybe he was testing the waters to see how she would react. I don't know. Yeah. We don't know. But at the end of the day, she was so upset about that. Like, oh, well, you said this.
Yeah. And she's clearly just like projecting or making shit up or whatever.
Right.
Out of her ass, because that doesn't even make sense.
Well, then Alex jumps in, and Alex was like, if you cared so much about Colin, you were sleeping with him, why did you make out with me? Right? Like, why did you make out with me?
And okay, I'm with Daisy on this one. It was truth or dare. Like, you're drunk and everyone's playing truth or dare. Right. That doesn't count.
I get that. Like, but if I was me personally, if I was into somebody, I wouldn't want to, like, I'd be like, no, I'm not making out with somebody. I wouldn't pick dare. I'd pick truth. Period. Because I would know dare would be making out with somebody.
Right.
That would be me, though. That's Alexis speaking. I don't know how everyone else is.
See, and I was much more like Mads.
Yeah, like whatever.
I was like, sure, okay, this is fun. I'll own whatever it is I do,
right. Yeah.
So.
And then Daisy starts going off about how I can kiss multiple people and not feel ashamed about it. And Colin was still hooking up with other people. But Colin said, no, I was up front with you, Daisy. Like, I told you about everything. You knew everything. And watching the footage back, I guess he wasn't so pleased with her behavior.
Yeah, because he didn't know, like, all of these times that, that they were, like, being inappropriate with each other. And then she would go around the corner and go make out with Colin in the engine.
Gary, stop it. Don't kiss me.
But, Glenn, I almost called him Uncle Glenn for a second. Glenn said it really well. He's like, okay, look. He's like, do I think Daisy was being inappropriate? Maybe, should she, or Gary was being
flirtatious
and she probably should have done more to fend him off.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, both of them were at fault in that situation.
Yeah.
You and I have been saying for weeks.
They deserve each other. I really hope Daisy and Gary start dating, or
I think
whatever the hell.
100% they are. 100%.
Yeah.
Because this is where I was going earlier. So we know that Gary and Colin are sort of friendly, and they'll see each other if they're, in town and things like that. But Gary and Daisy apparently are not friendly either. There's clearly still that bad blood there that I 100% think they worked out the first night they saw each other in person again. They got drunk and worked it out sexually.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They worked it out in the bedroom. They saw each other at one of the, whatever, maybe they're filming again together. Whatever it is, that first night, there's no cameras or whatever. All the sexual tension, all of their anger tension.
Right. And she's mad at Colin too. So of course she's gonna fuck his best friend. She's
anger
like
fucking. Yeah. So like all of that. And then you add alcohol to the mix, those two and their immaturity and all of that stuff. And it's just an explosion. There's just some angry fucking in that hotel. Yeah,
definitely. Well, so Daisy was totally gaslighting Colin too, when she was blaming him for being insecure about Gary. Like, it's your fault. And then Colin watches the season back and was like, was I justified in being insecure, everyone, after what you saw? Like,
right.
Obviously. And so then Andy asks Daisy if she's gaslighting him, and then she cries and runs away. I'm like, I cannot.
You Gary both crying.
Yes. Yes, that's why they deserve each other. They're emotionally immature. The difference is that at least Gary completely runs away and shuts off and eats chips. And Daisy just pretends to play victim and as trying to engage, but she can't go to that level. I don't know.
Yeah. It was awful. And their behavior is just awful, abhorrent. And if they're filming again, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to be involved in. I'm sure we'll watch it because of
course we will. I'm not going to be bitching about it.
Yeah, we'll see. But maybe there'll be other things, other dynamics that will make us happy. That will make up for their nonsensical behavior. And maybe the producers have seen it. Like, look what we learned about what a terrible person, Daisy is. Maybe we should show more of that. Maybe that would be explosive. Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
And her acting the fucking victim all the goddamn time. What else was I going to say? But I really feel like we got shortchanged on all of the other interactions with the other cast members.
We
just
totally
like the whole season, just like we did the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like the same thing happened on the regular Below Deck with the season with Rocky and Eddie. I feel like it's kind of switched to like everything being about Rocky being batshit crazy, and that kind of took away from everything else on some levels. I only know that because I'm rewatching it with Matt. I'm making him watch Below Deck. He says he hates it, but he doesn't, because then he asks to watch it.
He does not hate it. He asks you questions about it, and that therefore,
right,
he's invested his
100%. Yeah, he's like, I can't stand this Rocky girl, but
well, yeah, she's awful. She is awful. Yeah. That's why we watch it, because she's awful. It makes us feel better about our own life choices, because we're not fucking the bosun on the washing machine. I mean, maybe we should be. I don't know. Maybe life would be better. I don't know. I'm not fucking anybody on any washing machine after that accident today, though. I'm gonna be stiff for a little while.
Lord Jesus.
Oh God, Lord.
Diddly doodly da da da.
I'm not getting my doodle diddled.
Diddle doodle.
Well, if I am, I'm not doing it with the help of porn. Thanks, Glenn Youngkin. Thank you very, very, very much, Glenn Youngkin. Okay, so that's
That was
it,
basically
really.
it. Yeah, I mean that was legit. There was little things here and there, but nothing of significance, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Alex and Chase like each other. They're friends. They work together just fine. They work better without Gary. Ooh, okay. Not a surprise.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. So I really wish we would have, it would have had more of the others. So
well, next season, hopefully we will get. I hope Chase comes back. I liked Alex, but I don't think he really did anything for the season.
No.
His personality did not shine through on camera.
Right.
But
that's a delicate way of putting it.
Yeah. He wasn't dramatic enough for Bravo in the viewership, but Chase was good. I think. I feel like Lucy has potential to be awesome. They just edited her out, probably.
Yeah. I feel like, and given the right set of people around her,
right?
That maybe there'll be sparks or drama or whatever, because she's clearly a lot of fun. And I know you weren't a big Mads fan, but I love Mads, and maybe it's because I see myself
not like. Yeah, no, I don't not like her.
Right.
I just think that I blame editing, maybe, because it was just the same. It was the same thing all the time. She was just very like the same. And I'm sure that there was way more dimensions to her, but of course they're gonna, edit the story
with Gary. Yeah.
Right. Which was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think Alicia, she was so sweet and amazing, and I'm hoping they bring her back, but they might not, because she was not dramatic at all. Like, she was perfect.
That reminds me. Do you remember when Daisy accused Colin and Alicia of
flirting? Well, they're flirting with Alicia,
and she's like, "Come on, back me up on this," and everyone's like, "No, you're crazy, Daisy, no."
Meanwhile, she's making out with Gary in the crew galley or the crew mess. Right. I'm like, what? Delusional.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Projecting much.
Do you think that Parsifal, I guess Parsifal is coming back if Captain Glenn was on it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a different boat. Maybe they're not doing Parsifal again. Maybe they're doing a different boat, but I wouldn't imagine
seeing
why.
like Below Deck Down Under went from the yacht to like the fishing boat turn yacht. I'm wondering what sailing is going to do. Are they going to find like a...
But I wouldn't see any reason why they would get rid of Captain Glenn, because he's great. I don't see any reason why they would move on from him at this point.
No.
And Gary's the first mate, so it makes sense that he would return.
Can we just get a break from Gary? Can we just get a season without Gary and just see how that goes?
See how it goes.
Can we call in Eddie? Eddie doesn't do sailboats, right? But can we call in Eddie from Baltimore?
He's a tugboat guy. He could probably learn sails.
He can figure it out.
He's a smart guy. Yeah. God, somebody else other than Gary.
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready for some new blood. And it was fun seeing it all happen, but by the time this season and their threesome rolled around, I was just way over it. It was way overdone. I was way over it. And I'm ready for, and I didn't realize how ready I was until I watched the Down Under premiere, because seeing all these different people, I'm like, oh, that's refreshing.
It is refreshing, isn't it?
Different kinds of drama. And this is a super yacht or mega yacht or whatever, so that's different than a sailboat. It's a little higher class, so like there's different things to look at, versus our Gary and Daisy making out in the galley again. Yes. Spoiler alert. Yes.
Yep. Was he motorboating her boobs? Remember that happened? It was like fake, but close enough, sort of.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, not okay. Not okay. That's your boy. I don't even know why Colin wants to be friends with him. Like that, a friend doesn't intentionally try and hook up with your girlfriend or a girl you're interested in. That's not a friend. That's not a friend.
Yeah, maybe there's some other behavior that like we just weren't privy to. Like they had conversations and the timeline of things maybe turned out to be not as originally narrated.
Maybe, but remember, Colin did find out halfway through the season that Gary and Daisy hooked up, so he didn't even
that's
know.
true.
So
That's
we're kind of, Gary's just a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And I was finally seeing it for what it was worth.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's all good. Yeah,
Okay. Not I could admit when I was wrong.
no,
The guy's not that bad. Well, no, and then the other thing that I did think he wasn't that bad, and now I realize he is. But the other thing though was like you loved Ben, but you hated Gary, and I'm like, but that's the same
Oh.
behavior, But now it's like underneath it,
no.
because Gary without the charm is just an asshole.
Yeah,
And Ben without the charm isn't really an asshole.
I think Ben actually means well. I think he just
that's what I'm
has
saying. Like
anger issues,
underneath
yeah.
it, underneath his charm, he's not an asshole. He's just normal, Whereas Gary's underneath his charm, he is an asshole.
Right. Like
So
Ben would never walk off set and eat chips and be rude like that.
Oh God, no. He was
No.
raised far better than that. He's way too posh for that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. But
Mhm.
so we've got Below Deck, Down Under, where we're gonna go, and then we've got Sister Wives coming up in August. But that's
How excited are you for Sister Wives?
very excited. And in the meantime, I don't know if we can double up on episodes. See, I don't know. Maybe we'll find some other things to throw in there. Give some extra episodes of other stuff. Maybe I don't know. What's
Yeah,
happening.
I'm down.
I don't know. You guys seem to like mostly the Sister Wives and like the 1,000-Pound Sisters and Below Deck stuff. So
We'll have to bring back Fat Friday.
yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be lovely if we could. But so we'll have to see what's out there. But writer's strike and SAG after a strike. So everything we're gonna get is reality. For now. All the TVs we're gonna get is reality. Because there's nobody to write it and there's nobody to act in it. So all we're getting. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.